to cocktail history. We've not done some for a while, so it feels like it's a little, we're out of sync here, but anyway, welcome. I'm Stephanie Kibler, the director here at the Freeborn County Historical Museum, Library, and Village, with Risha Lilienthal, coordinator of exhibits and collections and exhibits. I tried to do them in alphabetical order.
Oh.
I don't know why.
Exhibit and collection coordinator sounds better than collection and exhibit coordinator, though.
Coordinator of collections and exhibits is how it is.
That works.
You want to debate it?
No.
we just did a popcorn history, and
I was baiting
she was baiting me to debate, and I bit for like 10 seconds and then realized, wait a minute, she's baiting me. So today we are heading back to New Orleans. NOLA.
Yeah.
For the, I'm going to say it the New Orleans way, Vieux Carre. Vieux Carre. There's a lot of ways you can pronounce it, but since it's a New Orleans drink, and that's how the New Orleans say it, New Orleans say it, the Vieux Carre, which is, if you did it the way it's written, it's like Vieux Carre.
Yeah, the Vieux
Carre sounds way better. So this drink has been immortalized by Ernest Hemingway's writings. Not the first drink that he's immortalized.
Sure.
The Carousel Bar and Lounge in New Orleans in the historic Hotel Monteleone is the birthplace of what they say is one of New Orleans or Louisiana's most classic cocktails.
Oh, nice.
Now, I'd never heard of this before, and then when I was out gallivanting last weekend, it was on a menu.
Of course.
Which I thought, great. I mean, a lot of our things are popping up on menus,
Yeah.
probably because they watch cocktail history.
Of course, yeah. It's we are the beginners.
I just, the trendsetters.
Yes.
Yes. So, pronounced Vieux Carre, the drink's name translates to Old Square,
Yes.
which New Orleans, is famous for. And it's actually named after the city's famed French Quarter where the bar is located. I've never been to New Orleans. I'd love to go. I want to go though when it's not like Mardi Gras or crowded. I want to go. I want to go when it's quiet. But I don't know. Is New Orleans ever quiet? I know.
Yeah.
But I want to.
That one is like in my head as a city that never sleeps, kind of.
Yeah, I would agree.
Feel.
But it's on my list of places to visit, but I want to do it when there's not a big festival or something. I just want to stroll.
Yeah.
So this rather strong cocktail, as you can see from all our little things here, invented in New Orleans in 1937 by the head bartender at the Monteleone, Walter Bergeron, who I think we've talked about Walter before, but for the life of me, I can't remember what cocktail he created. He created this cocktail as a tribute to the ethnic groups that made up the French Quarter at the time. So there's Sweet Vermouth, which is for the Italians, Benedictine and Cognac, which is for the French, and then rye whiskey for the Americans, and bitters for the islanders.
That's cool.
I thought that was really cool because, that's a lot of thought going in, and that's a lot of stuff, a lot of ingredients going in to mix a fine cocktail.
Yeah.
It's known as a slow sipper for good reason. Typically made using 100 proof rye whiskey and 80 proof cognac. I don't know if I followed that. 90 proof. And 40% alcohol, so that's not quite 50 proof.
That's okay. We
Yes.
got extra here and less
That is okay. No, we have less than both, which is
okay.
fine. That's all. That's okay. Resulting in the drinks nearly 30% alcohol by the time it's mixed up, which that is a strong drink. It's actually one of the strongest drinks you can purchase at a bar. Of course, unless you're just going to take that.
Sure.
Not my scene, but so this I didn't know, but the Carousel Bar is an actual carousel.
What? Like it moves?
doesn't do that.
Oh,
A
that's what
carousel does.
does.
No, a carousel's,
It
oh.
does, but the horses.
No, it spins like a carousel.
Oh.
Your seat doesn't go up. Yeah, give me a Vieux Carre and put me
spinning.
on a horse and
Oh, no.
spinning. Yeah, no. The popular 25-seat bar slowly turns on 2,000 steel rollers pulled by a chain powered by a simple 1/4 horsepower motor. Still featuring its original hand-painted carousel chairs,
Aw,
which I love.
that's cute.
The bar makes one complete turn every 15 minutes, usually filled with cast of colorful characters oozing local history. I don't know if that is still true, but they named some of the past colorful characters, which included William Faulkner. I've talked a lot today.
It's my tongue
is just not working. William Faulkner, Tennessee Williams, Truman Capote, Eudora Welty, who I didn't know, Winston Groom, have all enjoyed drinks there, joined by the likes of Billy Joel, Rod Stewart, Paul Simon, Nicolas Cage, Quentin Tarantino in the more modern times. The spinning bar overlooks Royal Street and still offers the exact same cocktail made using the same timeless recipe. So, so the recipe we're gonna post is it. Some of our ingredients shift slightly, like I didn't find Sazerac Rye, but I do have a rye whiskey. Peychaud bitters, I did not have at home, but I had Creol bitters.
And
And that was the next thing to substitute. So, yeah.
let's go.
Okay. So we're gonna do 2 of these. So you're gonna double what I tell you.
Right.
So this is ridiculous. It's a 1/4 ounce of Benedictine. So that would be 1/2 ounce.
Okay, wait. Oh, it's a spinny.
Yeah, it's not a
That
cork.
top.
It looks like it was
really,
gonna cork it off.
I was excited.
So just an interesting Minnesota fact, there used to be a hotel downtown St. Paul, well, it's still a hotel, but at the top of the hotel, they had the Carousel restaurant.
Oh.
Which in the center, it wasn't like cool, like made to
No,
look like a
everything.
carousel, but it spun around every 15
that's
minutes.
fun.
So you would get the full view of St. Paul
Oh, that's perfect
while
for
dying.
like
It's
a
beautiful.
rooftop.
It was beautiful. And then we're gonna do so it's a 1/4 ounce each of cognac, so 1/2 ounce. And I love these little tiny bottles were, I'm just gonna do, it's an out of the area plug. It, Total Wine had them, which makes this a little more affordable for the museum, as we're doing this instead of
Buying
or us bringing all of it from home all the time. And then it calls for 1 ounce. Yeah, because look at that's all we used.
Right.
Then it calls for 1 ounce of the rye whiskey.
So we do 2.
I mean 1/2 ounce. I'm sorry, 1/2 ounce. So you're gonna do 1.
Yeah, you can smell this is alcohol.
And then it calls for 1/2 ounce of sweet vermouth. You do not want to use dry vermouth with this. It will completely change.
So 1 ounce for us because we're doing 2.
1/4 ounce
So
of sweet
we're
vermouth.
doing
1/2 ounce.
Because
I might have said that wrong. I'm struggling.
I don't
here.
want to give us extra alcohol.
No. And I meant to look up, so Benedictine has a story. Distilled and mellowed in an extravagant palace located in France, the Normandy region. It is a subtle alchemy of 27 different herbs and spices. And I believe it gets its name because initially it was made by
the
monks.
Oh, the Benedictine monk.
So then we're only going to do, so each drink would have 3 shakes each of this.
Oh, so 6 each?
So 6.
3 shakes.
Yeah, oh God, that's a lot. It should be coming out in nice drops. It's not doing that. I feel I should get a dropper for these.
Yeah. Okay, wait.
had 6. Did you 6? The other one you kind of, it
gushed a
shot,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. And then we're gonna stir that with our little stirrer. And that, so that's 2 of those.
That's because it's a sipper.
And then it gets poured on the rocks. Do I have too many rocks? No, okay.
I like rocks.
And then we're gonna add a cherry. So you can either add a cherry or you can add a little lemon peel. We have these really nice. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. You're good. Oh my gosh.
I have to do the sibling thing.
You do not have to do this. We aren't siblings. You do not have to do the sibling thing. So that's that. So cheers. It smells really good, you guys. It's very herby. That's a sipper.
Definitely a sipper. It's like a good taste, but it's definitely one where you don't want to down it.
You should never want to down it. You couldn't drink it like Kool-Aid, is what she meant to say. A little bit old-fashioned-y, yeah. As Sazerac, kind of along that same line.
Yeah.
But very tasty. I would mix that up at home. You'd have to have the recipe because it's not one I'm going to remember.
And I think it is a nice November kind of drink.
It is.
The herbiness to it is nice.
Yeah. But the aroma, really nice.
All right, I got a few people from Freeborn County to talk about here. So we don't have a large, like, French immigration that happened here to us. It's kind of hard to find a French immigrant that, like, back in the 1800s. But there was a man named Joseph France.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a stretch, but let's go with it.
He came here sometime in 1857 and opened a gunsmith shop.
Oh.
On a small scale, so it was probably in his home. And then later he operated a tin shop. And his first advertisement as a gunsmith appears in the Southern Minnesota Star in 1858.
What do you do in a tin shop?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know.
Things with tins, make tin into sheets. I don't know.
I don't know.
He was day police in 1878 in Albert Lea.
And what is a day police?
That's just like
an officer during the day?
During the day, I guess. Like a not hired, I'm guessing. It was a volunteer position. And then before that, in 1866, he was a justice of peace here.
Oh, okay.
Then I also found in 1925. Well, we have a passport from 1925 in our collection from a Dr. Hiram D. Burns. And the inside of that has a visa to France.
Oh, so he went and worked or vacation?
I believe it was like vacation, but
Okay.
I don't know for sure. Yeah. He was a practicing doctor in Albert Lea until his death in 1940. Yeah. Then
Did they use passport photos then?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
There's a passport photo of him in there.
Oh.
It's a neat passport. It's really cool because they like listed your description then too. Well, they do in ours, but it was more detailed, more subjectively written than objectively now.
Okay.
Yeah. But this one, this next person I'm going to talk about is one that I want to now like find more research on.
Oh, you mentioned excuse me. Found one that you wanted to do to dig into. Yeah.
He is a resident who is kind of on the line between Freeborn and Mauer as like the histories, like right at that edge. He was among the first arrivals in Oakland Township.
Okay.
In 1856.
And remind folks, where is Oakland Township?
It's on the east side of Freeborn County. Makes sense.
Because there's not a township there any longer.
Yep. But he was Francis Merchant, I'm guessing is how you would have said it, except it's merchant, but in the French, it would have been Merchant. Sure. He was a Frenchman who came over, and he settled here 1856. First, he came over and was in New York in 1849. He came over with his sister, and then he came by himself over to this area. But as I tried to kind of dig a little bit more into him, because he's the only one I could easily find that said Frenchman in Freeborn County.
Oh, interesting.
And I stumbled along a book called Incident at the Otterville Station, a Civil War story of slavery and rescue. And he is listed in it several times as Sergeant Marchant in the Civil War. And it's based on a true story. And it lists like even little footnotes and stuff. I love footnotes. Of like where they found sources and everything. And so he was listed as Freeborn County.
So is it a book we could get our hands on? We should do that.
It's on Amazon for $6.50.
Yeah, we should do that.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a nice to add to the library.
Well, because I found a couple of like quotes in the book. I couldn't see the whole book, but I found some that had him in it. And it said like, Sergeant Marchant directed the slaves. Emily and Rachel passed the 2 infants they were carrying on their hips to the men beside them. Then they slid down to the train platform from the boxcar door. And that was about them taking slaves that were being transported on a train and like taking them off and getting them free.
Oh, interesting.
As Union soldiers.
So he was part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And there was also something in here saying Sergeant Francis Marchant had as much cause as Henry Emke, who was another Union soldier, to wonder about the justice of his jailing. He had risen even faster in the ranks than Emke, and all of his superiors gave his name the proper French emphasis.
Oh.
So he was jailed, and I can't quite tell what exactly it was all about, but this other quote I have kind of sheds a little bit of light on that, I think. It's, the counterclaims that Sergeant Marchant was no better than a damnable ringleader. Assemblyman H.G. Fisher wrote that Marchant was a brave soldier. He had led an attack on slavery.
Oh, so maybe he was jailed for that reason.
Yeah.
For leading the attack on slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So freeing slaves, probably. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
I know,
have to.
I want to look into it.
We'll have to get that, well, especially the book. Get that
Right.
book and get that order. Yeah.
And
wow.
after the war, he settled just west of Austin. And I don't know if that meant like just into Freeborn County or right on that line. So again, I don't know if it's necessarily Mount
We
or
get some
Freeborn,
shade
but it's like,
in that area
it's
quite
a mix.
often. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that was him, and that was the French. If I had known there was like Italian and stuff, I might not have.
I like that.
Italian and all that
Well, it's
jazz.
but yeah, because
The
you
French
see
Quarter.
the drink,
Mhm.
and the drink's name is French or Creole French.
Mhm.
So yeah, you would not expect. I did not realize, when we started talking about doing this one, that the how it came to be.
Yeah.
That he took the
The
peoples of the
different
quarter, and
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And when you talk, it shouldn't be a surprise though, because in Louisiana, in New Orleans, there's foods that are made that way.
Oh,
By
really?
different, now the new word is fusion,
Oh.
Tex-Mex, fusion. They were doing that in New Orleans long ago.
That's cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun
Well,
to visit.
And I knew the carousel that it was a carousel bar.
Mhm.
I didn't know it moved, which is cool.
I did not know that either.
But then I thought of the Morin Park here in
Mhm.
Albert Lee. That one was originally, let me see the actual thing. I'm gonna mess up the wording of it. Well, it was Spring Lake Park at one point, and before that, there it is. It was Mary's Little Lake,
Oh, that's sweet.
which was after Lorenzo Mary, who was him and George Rubel were the first 2 residents here in Freeborn
I
County.
wish they would have kept it named Mary's Little Lake.
Well, they destroyed the lake part. They filled the lake.
Oh.
And because, also residents weren't fond of Lorenzo Mary. He was kind of the like grinchy old man.
Yeah, well, but he's a significant piece of history here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They renamed it to Morin Lake, who William Morin was a big character here in Freeborn County. He was the first husband of Catherine Meehan.
Correct.
And he gave a lot of money to help out to come
He's
the
a
county at all.
philanthropist.
Yes.
Which Albert Lee even today, Albert Lee has, I like to call him the quiet philanthropist.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do it for the praise. They
do it to
quietly,
help.
yeah. And it's throughout history. There's been many people like that.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why the lake went away and they made it into like land was because by 1880, that, as it was quoted, is once pristine lake was becoming a garbage dumping ground.
Oh, very sad.
Yeah. So Morin, Clarence Wedge, and Mary F. Armstrong decided to
Nice.
donate that area to make a whole drainage and fill it in and create a park.
That's interesting. So we've touched on, so we did our popcorn history podcast today, and we touched on an environmentalist, which that group that cleaned that up would clearly be. And then we also talked about Reverend Hogue.
Yeah.
And his vengeance for alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
And then here we are having one of the strongest cocktails you can buy at a bar.
Yeah. Well, cheers.
Cheers to Reverend Hogue.